Hello. Welcome to the Heart Chakra class. So, if you're here joining live, welcome. Thank you for being here. I feel like I say this every class, no matter what topic it is, but I'm genuinely very excited to teach about the heart chakra. This is, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the most important of all of the chakras. Hi, welcome. I saw somebody else jump on. But yeah, the heart chakra is the most important chakra, and we'll talk about why that is, how it can affect you in your day-to-day life. And if you are being affected, say really quick, by your boundaries being a little bit too low, maybe everybody's coming in, depleting your energy or draining you or just leaving you feeling exhausted, overworked, depleted, any of this stuff can start to come from our heart chakra. As well as maybe we've been hurt. I don't know about you, but I feel like most humans, we have a history of some kind of hurt in our life. And then what our brain does, I guess we're just jumping right into it. What our brain does is starts to put up this barrier and wall, which you can literally see in the heart chakra. And in other classes, we'll go deeper into how to start to see and sense your own energy. But for now, that wall comes around your heart chakra as like this gate, this barrier, or this boundary. And so if our boundary is too strong and built from fear and pain, then this keeps us from being able to get love into. So heart chakra is really about our boundaries, love, compassion, all of this great stuff, which when it's in balance, you feel then in your whole being, in your body, very balanced. All right, so we'll go deeper into all of that stuff. That was just kind of a quick overview of the heart chakra. So thank you again for being here. Even if you're on the replay, I know a lot of people are coming to find these on the replay, which is very exciting. So no matter whether you're here live, hello, thank you. Or the replay, feel free to write in and say hi, or any questions you have throughout or any takeaways, definitely let me know. So the very first thing, I guess I'll introduce myself first. My name is Melissa, and I love to work with the chakras through energy work. I'm a Reiki practitioner. This is my nice Reiki board for the distance sessions that I do over Zoom. And I work with people in person as well. If you're local to Seattle, hi, come find me. And chakras are a big way on where I use energy work to clear and rebalance your own body. But then online, what I do with a lot of clients too, is we work with intuitive development. And these chakras are like this window into your soul to see different areas of your body, of your mind, how things are really going for you, where you might have lessons to take from, or maybe where there's some growth opportunities, or where you're doing really, really well. None of it is really good or bad. It just is. And so chakras are just kind of this roadmap to where am I right now? And then you can plan where you'd like to be, whether it's more joy, happiness, better boundaries, maybe taking down some of those fences, any of this stuff. Kayla, oh my God, I would love to come to San Diego. Maybe I'll come do a retreat there one day. That'd be fun. So the chakras, yeah, it's such a great window into who we are. And then how I originally started with my energy work was really focusing on people who are suffering from depression, because that's where I started. And then self-love. And I'm mentioning that right now because the heart chakra is so powerful with self-love. And so this is really, if we can start to come into the heart center and feel into our own heart, then we start to feel into our own capacity to love for ourselves. And from there, we can extend it in a healthy way out. Versus if we begin to love somebody else, when we don't truly love ourselves, we're coming from a place that it's going to end up depleting our own energy, and we feel tired. Not so great. So we want to work on that self-love. And then, of course, now I work more with intuition, just because as my clients grow, I'm growing with them, and that's where we are. That's where we are. So let's get back to the heart chakra. This is I know I said it, the most important one, 10,000%. I will look into it. I actually, side note, since you're here, Kayla, I was talking to my husband today. We were talking about the weather, and he was like, I think you're talking about like San Diego. I think you want to move to San Diego. And I was like, yeah, maybe I do. So maybe one day. Sounds like you guys have perfect weather. Very balanced, like the heart chakra. So the past couple of chakras we've done our root chakra, our sacral chakra, and our solar plexus. So if you want more information on those, they're on YouTube. Feel free to go find them right after this or another day, whenever you're drawn to it. And we talk about, it's just hot. We talk about how it's kind of an hourglass shape. And I really like this analogy because at the bottom we have our root chakra, which is very broad. This is our connection to earth, community, and family. And not just your immediate family, but like your cousins, your aunts and uncles, like the whole thing. How do you feel with your family? And then as we move up the hourglass, I doubt hourglasses are this big, but as we move up, the next one is our sacral chakra, which is our connection to a best friend. How we interact one-on-one with anybody, whether it's a boss, a person, a clerk, or most important, what most people know it as, your romantic partner. So romantic relationships fall in the sacral area also because it relates to our sex organs and creation. And whether you're creating a baby, a business, a painting, this all comes down to your sacral chakra, your expression and creation. So it's a little bit smaller as it's one-on-one relationships, and then dealing with you is in your own expression of passions and creativity. And then smaller up the hourglass, we have solar plexus, which is really just the seat of who we are. How do we feel about ourselves? How's our self-confidence? So all that's going to be in your solar plexus video. And then the heart, what's unique about the heart, when we look at the hourglass from wide to a little bit skinnier to just ourselves, the heart is like this bridge. And your lower three chakras are more earth-based. It's literally connecting to the ground, your family, what's tangibly here. And then creation, are you creating a baby? Are you creating a physical product? Are you creating a relationship? And then yourself, how do you feel about yourself here now on earth? All very grounded, tangible things. And then the heart is like this bridge that connects these lower three chakras with the upper three chakras. And the upper three chakras we haven't gone over yet. We'll do tomorrow. And then this Friday, we have the other two. And those are the throat, which is same width as your solar plexus. It pertains to you. Are you expressing verbally? We won't go into a ton of detail on it, but I just want to mention that it's really about expressing yourself, whether it's writing, singing, verbalizing, confronting somebody, speaking up. And then wider, we have our third eye, which is our seat of our own intuition. Do we see into ourselves well? And it can be developed to see into other people, the way that I use it for Reiki. If somebody wants an intuitive energy reading, we can do that as well. And you have the capacity to develop this as well. Just being here on this class, being open to learn about chakras is a step in that direction. And then wider than that, we have our crown chakra, which on the hourglass, I'd say it's just as wide as the root, but honestly, it's quite a bit wider as it pertains to your own spiritual connection. Now, I don't think you need to believe in any certain thing, but are you solid in your beliefs? Do you believe in something bigger than you? And are you happy with what you do believe? Or do you just kind of vague and unsure? Does that make sense? So what's really unique and cool about the heart is that bridge. If our heart chakra has a block, and we'll talk about what that means. If we don't have energy flowing really easily, we can't, well, I'll save that explanation for a second. But say your solar plexus, which is the seat of who you are, and your throat, which is the seat of expressing who you are. If your heart chakra has a little bit of a block and the energy isn't flowing in there and you feel very closed off, you feel depressed, you don't feel okay, then you're going to have a lot of trouble expressing yourself. Even if you do feel okay with yourself and you feel okay vocalizing things, if you're experiencing depression or pain or grief, this is going to block off the heart chakra. And when this is blocked off, it can be more difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it can be more difficult to get your self-expression out. Does this make sense? Or to show love for your family. Because if we can't love ourselves from that heart chakra, loving our family or our partner is going to be a little bit more difficult because that energy literally cannot flow up and out. You can go way deeper into this if you're into Kundalini yoga and really balancing all 7 chakras and getting that Kundalini energy going. But for now, just know that the heart, that bridge between the upper and lower chakras, vitally important. So I'm very excited that you're here to dive deeper into it. So a lot of the heart chakra, we'll start with our self-love. really how we feel about ourselves in terms of do we like our personality and all that can sit in the solar plexus, but they're so connected that if we love that part of ourselves, it's going to come from the heart. And when we can start to prioritize ourselves, and we talked about this a little bit in the solar plexus as well, when we can prioritize ourselves, this starts to show more compassion and love for ourselves. And especially since the heart chakra is the seat of holding a lot of pain, grief, the chakras can govern different body parts as well, not just like the energy around your heart, but your lungs can store a lot of grief. So if you have unresolved grief issues, this can close off the heart chakra. If you don't feel safe and secure in your other chakras, safe to be who you are, this can kind of depress and close off the heart chakra. And when it feels closed off, you may notice that it's hard to have a lot of energy. You feel a little more tired. Maybe you don't want to get out of bed. Maybe you have a lot of symptoms of depression, which I've experienced in my past. And what can bring this more into balance, you don't necessarily need to jump and quickly heal them, although you can, but really just starting a practice of curiosity with yourself of, well, it's okay that I feel this way. Say you're feeling depression or tightness in your chest, or you're experiencing grief that you thought you should have got over a long time ago. Acknowledging that you do feel it, and that's okay. It is okay to feel our emotions, no matter what they are. Just a blanket statement. It is okay to feel your emotions. And from there, sitting with it. When we sit with our pain, and I'm not saying you need to sit with it forever, or if it's too traumatic and it starts to give you anxiety, you don't need to sit with it. This is when you can get help. I'm here. Reach out. And we'll talk about how to do that for free, actually, at the end of this call. Or not the call, the YouTube. Just send that out of habit. But when we can just sit with what we're feeling, a little bit of sadness or grief or even joy, just begin to sit with it. This practice helps to move it out. Versus if you feel it come up and you start to come into a place of, oh no, I thought I healed this. I really thought that I should be past this by now. What is wrong with me that I'm feeling depressed again? I already journaled about that. Why is that back? And now we're coming from a place of, I should be different. And when you look underneath the I should be different, if you like open the door, then behind that is, I'm not enough. Because I think I should be different. Because somewhere in my life, I was probably told, whether it was a magazine, a parent, a sibling, a teacher, what have you, a random person at the park, that you should be different, that you should be more quiet, that you shouldn't cry, that you should just get over it. And so your little subconscious brain, which is oh so intelligent, remembers this and says, my pain is causing someone else pain. I'm responsible for their pain. Therefore, I can't feel. Therefore, when I'm 35 and feeling all my feelings, your subconscious is still thinking, you shouldn't feel your pain because then you're going to be an inconvenience to someone else. When in reality, it's okay to feel our feelings. We are here to break. This is my favorite thing about the work I do, to break the generational patterns. And I know I don't blame the parents. I don't blame the other generations. I think a lot of parents did really well. And I know some maybe left some marks. This isn't to blame anyone. It's just the way that things were. And now things are shifting. We observe, we learn, we grow. And we observe, we learn, we grow. So maybe in 15 years, what I'm saying now will no longer be accurate. I'll observe, I'll learn, I'll grow. But for right now, this is what works to shift your energy out. We observe it from a place of compassion for ourselves versus judgment. And so I mentioned all of that because if you are judging yourself, it's totally normal. You're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. It's the way that your brain is designed. It's what you were told as a kid. Somewhere along the way, you learned, you picked it up. Your brain is operating as it was designed. You're healthy. And it's okay to update that belief, which is why we're here right now, to update that belief. And whether you do belief change sessions with me or you're just on this video committed to yourself, this will start the process of changing that. Yay. Okay, I'm reading your comment. Yes. I had asthma as well. A lot of grief runs in my family line. And so my mother actually died of COPD, which is grief. She died of grief. I shouldn't laugh. I mean, I'm okay. I have a relationship with her still. But yeah, grief is tough. It sits in the lungs. Yeah. So to recap, if you're feeling any kind of sadness, any kind of pressure in your chest, anxiety, depression, grief, anything at all, remember to have compassion that you're feeling it. It is okay to feel it. And it's okay if you're starting to judge yourself. Remember, it's just a belief on repeat. And now we're here to update that. Notice and get curious. Oh, I judged myself. Why am I judging myself? What is it about me that makes me think it's not okay to feel sad right now? And this is something that you can journal about. What is it about me that makes me think it's not appropriate to be sad right now? So let me tell you what, it's appropriate to be sad whenever you want. And then being sad, whenever it comes up, feeling it, this is the key to moving it out of your body. And I know I said that before, but I'm repeating it so that your brain gets it. Your brain hears again and again. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to feel your feelings. And this is what moves them through. Emotions just flow through. And when we start to judge ourselves, we create that block in the heart, and then it gets stuck. We say, I shouldn't be feeling that, but the feeling's there. You're not wanting to feel it. You're not letting it flow out, so it stays. And get tense in our bodies. I'm tensing up because I also do massage therapy. So I see in the physical body, whether it's your lungs or in your muscle tissue, in your bladder, like in your head, your headaches, eye strain, it can manifest in an array of different places, likely unique to you. But when we don't let ourselves feel it, we create that block and it stays. And it will come back up later. And if you've been hiding it for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years and not letting yourself feel it, when it does come up, it might be intense. And this is okay. We just feel it a little bit at a time. Kayla is packaging a feeling wheel for your shop as you watch this. And it says across the top, feel your feelings. Oh my gosh, how amazing that you're here and doing that right now. Well, if that's not a message for both of us, I don't know what is. Reminder, feel your feelings. Amazing. All right. So compassion for yourself. Get curious about why you're feeling the way you are. If you want to, that part's optional. Having compassion for yourself is your first priority. And then addressing, this one may not be fun for some people. I ignored this one for the longest time. For the longest time. Whoa. All right. I was singing because I didn't even want to talk about it because there are still parts that I ignore in myself. Addressing past pains. This comes to your heart chakra too. So I do a lot of work with my heart chakras or with all of my chakras, but there's always going to be layers, right? And I was speaking with a client a few days ago, and she's done so much work and growth, and she's doing amazing. And we did an energy scan, and her energy field was so clear. And there were only a couple spots that were priority, but overall, like, whew, it was great. And we were talking about how you can get to this place while there's always another layer. Eventually, we get to this place where we just feel good. And I think this is a little side tangent, then we'll get back on the heart chakra track. And I think it's important to notice how far you've come and just let yourself exist if you're feeling good. versus always looking for another problem. Like, oh, I know there's layers. I got to do the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. So I guess I'm mentioning this because even though I have other past pains to look at, they're on my list. I don't necessarily go looking for them actively until they pop up as a trigger. And then I absolutely will look at it. But you could be doing work like this forever and ever and ever and going layers deeper. But once you get to a place where you feel good, at least in my philosophy, that's enough. Then just feel good. And as the things pop up as triggers, that's your cue to work on it. So that's kind of where I am as well. So yeah, feeling past pains. And when we're talking about past pains, this is where we get into the really strong boundaries. So there's a lot of ways you can have boundaries, but the two main ones that bring our heart out of balance are way too strong. We've been hurt in the past. Somebody cheated on us. Somebody lied to us. Somebody died. And we don't want to feel that pain again. And a lot of this comes back to the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind was like, ooh, that was not fun to experience. So what can we do to not have to experience that again? And it says, hey, I know. We'll just put up this wall, this barrier, and we'll hide and we'll like shield ourselves and we'll build up these walls and nobody will see us and nobody will get to our heart. Because if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable and love to the deepest level, then we can't get hurt. It's safe. Or so your brain thinks. So when we start to address these past pains, say you're in a relationship and you're having trouble like getting to the next level or really connecting deeply or trusting them. And maybe it's because in a past relationship, somebody lied to you all the time or cheated on you or left when you didn't expect or did all three or worse. And so your brain doesn't want to repeat this situation. So it prevents you from getting close. Start to do self-sabotaging things, pull back from the relationship. Maybe you say something you didn't mean to say, something mean. So you're creating this wall, even though you don't want to. You're creating this tough boundary. But if we took some time, maybe did a session, therapy, journaling, whatever, and we looked at, okay, I'm going to go back and look at that other relationship. What was it teaching me? What do I need to know from that? How can I heal? These are things you can write down. And one of the reasons I love working on intuitive development now is the more intuitive you are with yourself, and it just takes practice, the more intuition or the stronger your intuition is, these journal questions can get really powerful because you can drop into a place where you're writing from your heart versus your anxiety and start to answer these questions of what was it about that relationship? What drew me to that person? What did I need to learn? How can I heal that? And it might be go to Reiki, or you need to make amends with your dad, or whatever it is. And then when we heal that, we see, oh, them behaving in that very mean way to me wasn't actually about me, but it was about their issues and their also very tough heart wall. They didn't want to let anyone in, so they were self-sabotaging by breaking the relationship in whatever way. And so when you see it's not about you, then your heart wall relaxes and opens. And you begin to love with your current partner a little bit deeper, or with yourself. Does this make sense? So when we heal our past pains, relationship or otherwise, any kind of pain that's coming up and triggering us, where we are getting in a fight or flight state. It could even be something as simple as you open up your work computer and there's a lot of emails and you feel a panic attack or anxiety that there's too much to do. Well, then what is that about? Let's look at whatever issue it is. Then we kind of open the door and see, well, who's really in there? Is it a feeling of not enough again? Because you feel inadequate that you couldn't keep up with the emails because at some point a teacher told you that you were finishing your pop quiz a few seconds late? Happened to me in first grade. It was traumatizing. I was not good at multiplication. I finished very slowly, and I still remember it to this day. So whatever it is, looking at it and healing and realizing that it was never about you. But instead, your brain is trying to protect you from not having to feel the discomfort of that happening again. And then the heart wall goes up. And the more we look at any kind of pain or trauma, the heart softens and opens. And when it gets open enough and in balance, you begin to radiate this love and feel it not only in your body, but I talk about, if you follow on Instagram, I talk a lot about the energy around you. You're radiating this energy around you. And if you're in the meditation course, one of the meditations we do, we practice sending that energy out. We send that energy out because we have enough for ourselves. And this again comes back to, are we depleting ourselves? And we'll get into that with the last form of boundaries. But if your boundaries are healthy, your heart is open, you'll have enough love for yourself and to give out to others. When you feel good about yourself, when you take care of yourself, and being on this video is a testament to your brain and your body that you are doing that, you are doing the work, you're taking the time for yourself. So thank you for being here. The more people who do this, then the happier the world gets, which that's my motivation. You'll feel that love. When the heart is open, you're naturally going to feel that love energy more often. Now, the other side of this, we've looked at, there's a lot of pain. You have a tough exterior wall. You don't let anyone in. You start to look at those pains, what caused that boundary, start to soften it. Feel it? And on the other side of that, likely due to pain, but in another way, and I think I had both for a long time, like a very tough wall and also this act of I need to give too much. But the other part is just no boundaries. And just anybody can have access to your energy. If you feel like you're an empath and you're being drained, if people come to you and dump all their problems on you, if people don't respect your time, your energy, they don't listen to you, or you feel like they don't listen to you, this can be because your boundaries are so weak that you're just letting anybody come in. And you kind of see these types, it was me, certain people, we can have this sense where, again, if you peel back the doors, so much of this, it's a sneaky little part of you that's just like, I'm not enough. And we picked that up from childhood and covered that. So we have this part of us that is just coming from a place of, since I'm not enough, to feel like I'm enough, I must give. I must do something for someone else. I must be of service to have value. We talked about this a lot in the solar plexus, and a lot of these chakras carry over so much with each other. And the solar plexus, which is around the belly button, seat of who you are, if you don't value yourself, it's hard for other people to respect and have that same value. So it comes back to, can we have self-value? And to have self-value, we must have that self-love and compassion, right? I paused. I shifted. I'm just going to say it. I shifted and my leg was asleep. And now it's painful and I got distracted. So let's see if I can stay focused. I need to shift my leg again. Oh my goodness. I haven't been doing yoga as much and it shows in my body. All right. So we're talking about the very open boundaries. If you're empathic and people are draining you and you need to give to feel as though you're enough. And this can come in the form of something some people might be able to resonate with is if you had a parent when you were growing up that got angry and would say, oh, I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling disappointed, or I'm upset because you did blank. This again lets your brain know they're upset because of my behavior. And so to make that external person happy, I must change and give them something. So we become responsible for other people's emotions. And it's similar to the really tough boundary. We become responsible for someone else's emotion, or we think we're responsible for someone else's emotion. And then the way to break this down is that self-value and realizing that you are responsible for your own emotions, for your own heart center. And when we can fill up here, we have space to give from a healthier place. And this brings, when we value ourselves, this is going to put up your boundary in a really healthy way. So again, you can feel that love, you can feel that abundance of happy energy, you can feel that vibrancy and more joy and just contentment in who you are when you value yourself. And so solar plexus, again, talks about this a lot. You'll have journal questions for that in that video, so I'm not going to go over it a lot. But just know if you're empathic, people are jumping on you and your boundaries are so weak, you feel you need to give to be enough, start with self-value and self-compassion. Doing things for yourself. Been at 30 minutes so far. Wasted a minute talking about my leg that's asleep. We're going to close up pretty soon. A couple other really fun facts about the heart chakra. Just keep it real light. So I picked these from my yard. The roses are actually a representation for the heart chakra. So if you want to do a couple fun things for yourself, when we talk about valuing ourselves and really loving ourselves, something we can do is plan like a self-care day. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, you need to do more than baths. It's true. You do need to do more than just baths. Like have a Reiki or have a Psyche or show up to this video or do some journaling or whatever works for you. And we can also do really lovely things for ourselves just because. And if you want to get some some rose essential oil and drop it in a bath, that can be really good. Rose stimulates around the heart center, and just the emotions that you'll feel after you breathe it in can help lift your vibration. It's kind of like using the flower essence energy to help lift your own energy. And then some other fun things I think we talked about in the meditation course about color therapy, but we're going to go into it deeper in another class. So stick around. We'll go into color therapy there. But really quick, if you do know about it, when you're setting up your Reiki line, your energy line, and remember, anybody can do this. You do not need to be Reiki certified, but anybody can tap into that Reiki line. You're going to use the color green and visualize green energy coming in and filling up through your whole space. And this will help open up the heart chakra. And if it's really, really blocked and feels difficult, grab a journal, and this would be another time to be like, why does it feel blocked? What is coming up for me? What is preventing me from being able to feel this energy? And this can give you insight. Remember, it's about being curious, not judging yourself because it's blocked. Heart chakras get blocked, unblocked, anywhere in between, all throughout our life, and it's all normal. It's okay. Feels good when it's in balance, but it's okay if it's not. So beginning to get like an investigator into your own heart. What is it about me? What is this coming up for right now? And if you do want any guidance healing this, I did work for a long time and still really value and love to work with clients on this topic, even though I focus a lot on intuition right now. I really started with the self-love and depression and healing all those traumas and pains. And I have a lot of time coming up over the next month, actually. So if you want to, I'm going to put a link below. If you want to just get on a call and talk for free, we can go over your chakras, go over this a little more in depth, and get like a game plan. You don't necessarily need to work with me, but just what would make you feel good right now. So you have a little bit of support and guidance, because it is literally my favorite thing to do. So why not? But yeah, I would also say, if you are unable, if you went through this video and you weren't necessarily writing things down, if anything was meaningful to you, whether you put it in a comment or you put it in a journal or you send it to me in a message, write it down. One of the reasons I have my clients write down their beliefs after we do it, because it helps it imprint in the subconscious mind. So if you took anything away from this, if anything made sense, if anything resonated that you want to work on, write it down. That way it tells your brain, this is what I want. This is what I want to go for. And when you get clear on what parts you'd like to heal next, your brain and your body can begin to release that energy already. So just the intention that you want to start to heal and open up through the heart chakra can be enough. And you write down, I'm really ready to heal through the heart chakra, however it sounds for you. You can write it any way you want. Ready to figure out my traumas. I'm ready to have healthy boundaries. I'm ready to give from a place of love, because I have a full cup, therefore I have enough. Versus I don't feel good for myself, and when I give, I end up drained. Does this make sense? Okay. So I think that's all I have for you. Kayla, thank you so much for popping in. I'm so glad to chat with you today. As always, I love talking to you so much. And anybody else who joins, replay or otherwise, please let me know how you're doing. And I'll put that link for a free call. If you want to chat more, I'd be super happy to jump on a Zoom call with you. But tomorrow, we're going to go over more chakras. We have the throat chakra at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then this Friday is on the schedule to do third eye and crown, both on Friday. So we'll see if that needs broken up into 2 days. And then we have a meditation next week to round out our July events, which has been really fun. So thank you for joining. Comment below what you learned. Remember that writing will help solidify it in your subconscious mind. It's a favor to yourself or in a notebook or however works for you. But you are amazing. Thank you for being here and being open to open up through the heart chakra a little bit more. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.